So what keeps us, all of us, from breaking through and becoming more of a specialist? Just so you don't feel like you're like, I don't think he understands me. I'm a specialist. I don't doubt that for a second. You're on the specialist side, no doubt. I'm not saying you're a generalist. I want you to be more of a specialist. Understand more of the iceberg, right? It's a classic case in point in medicine. If we had something with one of our children that needed it, would you go to a generalist? You may start with a generalist, but you would eventually, if it was life-threatening, you would go to a specialist. And you would keep going to there is a top 2 or 3%. That's what you want. I think that's what you want to do. I think that's what we aspire to do. I hope that you are. Now, what keeps us from doing that? Well, it's human, right? We have intellectual lethargy, and we love to coast downhill and hit the easy button as often as possible. We all do. We'd like it to be, there's a lot of days that I go, I think we did our 570th camp. Unbelievable, right? And so we always have, or almost always have, an after-action review. And there's a lot of times, Coach Jones will attest to this, I just want to go eat. Okay, we're done. Let's go, right? Do we have to go through all the mess, no, yeah, you do, as often as possible. We love theory. We're drawn to theory. There's nothing wrong with that, but everybody has a theory. My dad had a theory on pitching. My dad had a theory, and he wanted to make sure that I heard it all the time, right? I don't know if you're right. Everybody has a theory. Right? Rick Lynch used to say, every dad could do two things: boil water and teach hitting. Right? That was Rick Lynch's favorite. That was your dad's favorite thing, right? How many times do you hear him say that? Way too many times, right? We love to be entertained. We love new toys and new tools, and that's what a lot of these clinics, that's what the ABC is. You walk through there. I mean, I love walking through the ABC, all the new toys and all the NFCA, all the toys and all. That's neat, right? We love secrets, magic cues, and clandestine recipes, right? We all do. And that's okay, but we have to understand that. That's the sugar part of our diet. That's the dessert part. The things that are really going to make us grow is not that, right? So how's that working for us? Well, a lot of people are like, why didn't you just stay with this 3-day thing? It was really successful, and it was. I just said, I've done it enough. It was good. It was good. It was good seeing everything. It was good to be filled up. I mean, I think we sold it out for like 12 years in a row. It's good. It was good. It was time for me to move past that. I wanted to go, I got tired of being on the surface level all the time. I wanted to dig deeper into things that really matter. Clinics are great, right? But they're not bastions of impact. So to be specific, Henry David Thoreau referred to success in unexpected and common hours. That's what I am searching for. Success unexpected and common hours. So let's go down the path together. So now, ability to think and think again. I want you to write this phrase down. Your default program. We all have a default program. Ask your wife or your husband what your default program is. They'll be able to tell you. You'll be stunned by it. They're like, you go right there. You go right there. That's what you go to, right? We all have you have a default program in pitching. Default program in training your pitchers. Default program in training your hitters. Now, that's not all bad. That's not bad in per se. Just realize you have it. So I'm going to talk about the Man Gulch Fire of 1949. It's a really great analogy, right? It's the greatest loss of life of smoke jumpers, the guys that go into the forest fires and jump out of airplanes and go fight forest fires, right? 1949, they lost 12 of them, made all the national news. They jumped in, Helena, Montana, they had a fire going. They jumped in, they got ready to go. In the ravine, the winds changed. and 12 of them died. 3 of them survived. That's what I want to talk to you about. The default program of a firefighter, what do you think it is? You have your backpack, you have your shovel, you have your thing. What do you do with that? That goes with you everywhere. That's your tools, right? So they're trying to get this fire turned around, it's coming at them. 12 of them tried to get up the slope. 15 of them went up the slope, or I should say 14 of them went up the slope. 2 just took their backpacks off, threw them down, and went, I'm not going to need that for a little bit, and went up, and they lived. Okay, that's one thing. So the other ones kept them on and didn't. But here's the odd one. They still talk about, the 2 survivors talked about it. The fire, imagine the thought process here. And this was the first time that this occurred, and it's now in firefighting history. This is standard now. The fire is now coming at them, and there's the hill. And this guy put down his backpack and started a fire around him. He started several fires around him. And he said, everybody come here. And they're all like, we're not here to set fires. We're here to put them out. What are you doing? And he's like, this will work. Come here. And he set fires all the way around. Now, what was he doing? He was just taking all the fuel around when this fire's coming up. If there's no fuel to burn, right? So he burned a big patch, took a sheet, put it wet with water, went over, and the fire went right over him, and he survived it. That was the first, I think, what do they call it? They have a name for it. Escape fire. Now, that's thinking. But so the question is, does your default program keep you from thinking? You just keep doing the same thing. Right? In the face of this changing adversity, what do you do? If you're a generalist, you keep your backpack on. If you're a specialist, you think differently. Right? The default program is always keep your gear.